welcome to SoulWhat, a Soultopia podcast. I am Michelle Welch, one of your hosts on SoulWhat tonight.
Awesome, and I'm Roger Welch. So what's up today, Michelle?
Today has been a great day.
Yeah.
How about you?
Awesome. You know what today is?
What?
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, one of your favorite days, right?
Look what I got for us.
Okay.
Here, check it out.
Aww.
One each. Y'all like these? Kind of cool, right? Guess what else I got? I got margaritas for us.
Did you bring one for Matt?
I did.
Oh, God, you just got
Whoops.
it everywhere. They're a little sticky. Try not to get it on the equipment.
I didn't.
Okay.
Fred's okay.
Fred's
okay.
As long as Fred's okay, then don't.
We
So
got
for
margaritas.
y'all listening, oh my gosh, it's going everywhere.
That wasn't.
How many have you had before you got here? So I want to know.
None.
So one of the things with
Matt,
dry,
sorry, I only got like 2 of the fancy cups. How about a regular cup?
he doesn't even. Matt doesn't drink that much, but he can pretend, right? You don't.
I'll have a margarita.
Okay.
See there. Look,
Don't pour any of that extra stuff in mine.
there's none in there.
Okay. So if you go through Taco
go to Taco
Cabana,
Cabana?
they're how much?
They're $2 each.
They're $2.
And look what they give you with it. Woohoo!
Okay, so for y'all listening, we've got the margarita glasses with the flowers.
It's Cinco de Mayo. Gotta have this.
Okay, just put a little in mine, because that's enough. Okay. You should have told me I could have gotten another little, the Soultopia glass. Is that one Matt's?
Here you go, Matt.
Okay. He's coming. He's running.
Matt's running.
He's running to get his. Oh, we've even got straws. Do you want him to hand it to him? Here.
Pass through.
Okay.
We got straws. We get to cheer up on it.
Oh! Here we're gonna,
Voila.
what are we cheering to? Cinco de Mayo?
Yes.
What does Cinco de Mayo stand for besides, of course, May 5th?
May 5th is the day after. May the 4th be with
Are
you.
you talking about Zeltar? Trying to?
All right.
Okay, so
I'm
what
not
are-
using the straw.
Be careful, but really, how many did you have before? Because the stuff's going everywhere. So cheers to what?
Beginning of a great month.
The beginning of a great month. Cheers! Woohoo! And to Soultopia, we're doing great. Right?
Been crazy busy. That's always
Yeah.
good.
Cheers to SoulWhat.
Here, I got chips and salsa too. You want chips? Or not chips and queso too. We
Oh,
got
my-
chips and queso. We had it all.
I don't think we're doing a show
Chips
tonight.
and
We're
queso.
just-
Or chips, yeah.
Mm.
These are actually pretty good for $2 margaritas if you think about
I'm
it.
glad I did that. Glad I did the outline and everything because you've got margarita all over it. Yeah. I think these tablecloths need to go for dry cleaning.
I need to probably run them home and wash them. They've had crystals and oils and everything.
This
But
is
they
pretty
don't.
good,
they-
actually.
They don't spill too much.
This isn't bad. That's really sweet. Did you
Yeah.
get a skinny?
No, I just got a regular.
Okay. So don't do that for all you diabetics out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah, see?
Mm-mm-mm.
Exactly.
I like it.
Very
I
good.
wonder if they're going to change the laws now. Now
I
that we
heard they were going to keep it the same. It's their plan. Do you-
Wow, that's really safe.
Right? That's what I'm
But hey,
saying.
we're all a little bit happier during these times. So there's a place here in, was it Plano? Do they have another whiskey cake?
Yeah, they do. But I know the one in Plano because they have the curbside pickup. And so they actually have it in front. So
It's a full bar, you guys.
yeah, they had a full bar set up outside in the drive-through. So you go through, get your food, but they also had the full bar set up
It's
out there
like
so
a
you
full
can get
bar, full
drink to
drive-through
go.
bar. Yeah, that's really.
Yeah. So I thought
I
that
like
was actually
whiskey
pretty
cake
cool.
anyway. It's a nice place.
Oh, it is.
It's fun.
Yes.
Good food and good desserts.
Mm-hmm.
So did you go and get these little glasses?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to the dollar store?
I went to the dollar store. They have a sign up. You got to have a mask on to go in, though.
Well, we have a sign up that says we recommend it.
Yeah.
Highly
I ran back to the
recommend
car and got my mask because I wasn't originally wearing it to begin with. So I did go back and
it.
get
You've
it.
been pretty good about wearing your mask. I'm surprised.
Surprisingly, yes.
I think everybody needs to remember that we still need to be careful.
Yeah.
And
These are
not
pretty
just
good.
assume that in 1 week everything got
Mm-hmm.
magically better.
No, you still need to be careful when you're out. You need to, keep your distance from everybody. And before I did their margaritas, I hand sanitized them, guys. So I, didn't go crazy or anything
You're
like that.
constantly hands on. Even
Well,
before all
that's
this,
because
like,
of my muggle job. I'm going to people's homes and not everybody's clean. So, we can get out of the house, you hand
I'll
sanitize
never
and
forget
clean.
that story you told about going into a certain person's home.
He was a heart doctor. And I went in his house and I was talking to him about his kitchen remodel. And we were talking about the cabinets and how we were going to change them and how we would fix them. And I stuck my hand talking about under cabinet lighting, and my hand stuck to the cabinet. I pulled my hand out and my fingers were black from
And the
gum.
dude was a heart doctor
He was a heart doctor. And I just went to the sink, I washed my hands,
and said goodbye.
and I said, I don't think I can help you. And I left.
Yeah. You pretty much won't stay if you're not tolerant of their
True.
cleanliness. Yeah.
True.
You'll go. Well, so our topic tonight is about one of my favorite quote unquote crystals. It's actually carbon, but it's shungite, and talking about 5G.
Okay.
And you kind of gave me a hard time because you were like, why all of a sudden are you caring about 5G? Because you used to not really care so much about it. And I always did care about it. I just didn't get way into the overboard, crazy conspiracy theories of everything. Because I think you can go overboard conspiracy theories on everything in life, and then you're not going to enjoy life at all.
So it's kind of like anything and everything. It's within moderation. You kind of pay attention, kind of, if you can protect yourself, and don't worry too much about it.
I mean,
Don't
because
stress about it.
like we live here, and there's only there's only so much you can do about certain things. And I do think if there's something you can do, then you should do it. For instance, off the subject,
Killer hornets,
well, that's one thing, but
tennis racket.
that's another thing.
Oh, okay.
But, like if your bank, for instance, is a cheater and doesn't give you
Oh.
money when they're supposed to, and they give all the other people money, then yeah, I think there's something you can do about that. Just saying.
Yeah.
That you're not their biggest client and they cheated you out of money
Mm-hmm.
when you applied in plenty of time. We got money, so but I feel bad for all the little people who didn't know better, who banked with a big bank and didn't
Right.
get money. So yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
there's something you can do about that. I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think it's a fact.
Yeah.
And so this 5G thing, I think there are certain facts about the fact that we are going up to 5G. So let's start out with talking about, let's talk out first about, do you want to start with 5G or Shungite?
Let's talk about it because I do.
About which?
Let's talk about the 5G and
Okay.
how it actually works.
Okay.
Okay. So the way that like your
So we're showing, like, if you can watch, we're showing
so like
a
if you have
tower.
so like if you have your tower now and you have like buildings and whatnot,
Well, he's showing a tower. We're showing a tower now.
So
You see it?
yeah, like the tower you see it. So what happens is in a regular tower, what we have now as far as cellular service, when you go hits like buildings or people or anything like that, it starts diminishing the signal. Okay, it doesn't penetrate through. The difference is that 5G starts penetrating through non-organic material, people, animals, plants, things like that. So that's why there's the big difference of like the 5G versus 3G, 4G, or whatever else.
So
was
that's
before.
factual.
Yeah.
That's not like a
No,
speculation,
no.
that's factual, okay.
That's actually how it works.
Okay.
It has the ability to go through non-organic and organic, I guess, materials. So people.
Okay.
It can, and that's probably why a few weeks ago there was a meme that floated around. That was one of the guys working on one of the towers, and he was in the full suit protecting himself. Well, he was right there next to it, So yeah, anything coming off of it is going to go directly into it for sure.
So was that like a joke or real?
No, it was real.
Okay.
It was. They were
Oh,
actually working
I
and
wish you
building
would have
it.
sent a picture of that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
Actually, I didn't see it again. I saw it a couple of times, but I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, and then it magically disappeared.
Facebook killed it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's first talk about before 5Gs then. Can we go back just a little bit?
Okay.
Because some people, like, we also kind of want to protect against, like, EMFs.
Yep.
Okay, I think that's important.
Electromagnetic fields.
Fields, right.
Yep.
And so a lot of the crystals and things that we use, including Shungite,
Mm-hmm.
will protect us against, like, protect our fields.
Yes.
Right? So electromagnetic fields occur, or EMFs, right?
Yep.
Occur whenever there are power lines, right?
Right.
Or even outlets. And that's whether they're on or off.
Correct.
And I didn't know that. So whether they're
Yep.
on or off, that's when they are occur.
Yep.
Magnetic fields are created only when electric currents flow together. Or flow. Okay, so let me say that again. So magnetic fields are created only when the electric currents are actually flowing, right? Is that correct? Together, they produce EMFs. Those two things together.
Right.
Okay, so I didn't know that. That was a little bit of research I did because I was like, okay, really and truly, what's an electromagnetic field? Is that correct so far?
Yep.
Okay, so we want to be protected from that because things like, would that apply to like even, so that's our phones, that's our microwaves, that's our computers, that's power lines.
Pretty much
That's-
anything that has an electric current that runs through it.
And so even if
Of
it's
any type.
off, that's when it would be the
But I think even though you're
the
saying
electromagnetic,
Yeah.
electricity is when it's off.
but like if you look, because even if it's off, you've got a little bit, but when the power's on, it's got to surge it up.
Yeah.
It's like some of the new cell phones are so, out there as far as like what they do with the 5G and everything.
But I'm talking about before even the 5G.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm talking about is like that energy that goes around it. Like I've seen this, and it'd be fun kind of to get one of those 5G phones and try it. But like real super fine steel wool, you can take a battery and you can just stick a battery to it and it'll ignite. Okay, but they show it with putting that steel wool around one of the phones and calling the phone, and because there's so much current running through the phone, when the call's going from here to here, it actually ignites the steel wool around it.
Interesting.
So it'd be kind of cool to try that too and see if it actually works.
Yeah.
And how that works.
Well, so with that, so people were wanting already to protect against EMFs. So we were already selling like a lot of Shungite to protect ourselves from EMFs. People have been saying
Yep.
that for a long time. Don't
Right.
put phones up against your head. That was already a thing,
Yep.
right? And people were like, maybe, maybe not. But microwaves, that's
Yep.
been around a long time. Don't be beside power lines, things like that. That could cause certain amounts of radiation, right?
Yep. Well, and there's proof to that too, with, the kids' deformities where they grew up near power lines.
So the hot spots, computers, phones, appliances. Also, I don't know how much radiation and stuff it puts off, but it's actually not good for you. All the blue light from the screens and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
Okay. So the difference is now we have this 5G, which is 5th generation. Okay, so it's this 5th generation technology, and this affects your molecular structure because in our DNA, they're saying.
Correct.
So this is going to take effect in like our intuition, our vitality. It can drain us of our energy and eventually potentially affect our immune systems, which is why some people could tie it into, I'm just going to say it. It's kind of interesting that it's all rolling out right now. All the 5G stuff. And
5G,
there's all these
little
weird
COVID,
illnesses. I'm just going to say.
election year.
Well, I didn't throw that in. I'm just saying 5G's being
Oh yeah, she didn't
put
have that
up
on the
everywhere.
Sorry, guys.
It's been like being put. It's all the towers are being put up, right?
Towers already up.
They're up. it's
They can actually, because of the way it works, is if you have a tower, like the big tower we just showed, they can put small towers on top of buildings, and it's like a repeater. So the signal goes from the tower to these little towers, and it just keeps repeating everywhere.
so I did a little research too, and we've heard a lot with the COVID and stuff, like, and this isn't like, I'm just saying, there's been a lot about the WHO, right? The World Health Organization. Y'all have heard about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a lot that's been put out by them also about 5G. So just Google it, you'll see. And it's straight from them saying that they think that 5G is okay. That they have statements. So there's no evidence to say that it's not. There's a lot of statements that have come out from the World Health Organization. There's also some statements that have been coming out from the Pediatric Association for children and for teenagers to say maybe you might want to limit their time on 5G on computers. Also, you might want to use more of your speaker mode, and you might want to not have the up to your head as much. That's actually been
That's
been
been
put
around
out by
for
them.
quite a while too.
But
though.
5G especially.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that was interesting. So that's not just made up. That's actually was released by them. But the World Health Organization, that WHO, has been saying, we don't really know yet. There's not enough data. So we have to, collect the data. We have to see how many people get sick or don't get sick.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay. So who volunteers for that experiment? All of us.
Everybody.
Right?
They wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
To
So
everybody.
what happens is, what they're saying is it can, or a lot of people think it's going to be like fog up our whole auric system because, like you said, it goes through.
It pretty much goes through organic, inorganic, whatever. I mean, that's how it gets from point A to point B. It just, nothing really stops it.
And so what is alleged is it's much harder for you to rejuvenate from that. It's
Right.
much harder for you to replenish your system. Whereas your immune system and things might recover much more quickly. Now it does not.
Correct.
Okay, so, and it's much harder to recuperate. And it will maybe affect a lot more of your systems and a lot more things in your body in kind of a weird way. That kind of sounds familiar to me.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yep.
That's some stuff that's going on. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Not at all.
But it does. Okay. I have a question. Is it just the towers that are so bad, or are there other ways that the 5G is put out there? I mean, like, is it the waves
Well,
from the towers, or like?
So the waves off the towers is 5G towers is what, they're basically upgrading because it used to be
to
whatever,
fifth generation.
LTE, then went to 3G, then went to 4G, now it's 5G.
Right.
So they're basically upgrading everything across the board. And so,
So
what they're
that's
doing,
faster.
it's supposed to be
and
faster,
better,
download, movies, music, whatever, just it works faster. Less downtime, less problems with it, crashing, things like that. Which has a lot to do with also your Wi-Fi. So even in facilities, a lot of times where they have internet and Wi-Fi, some of those systems could even be 5G systems in the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So you could still have it like that too.
So it's all tower. It's not like pipelines or anything like that. Like
water pipelines? No.
or oil or anything. It's just towers.
It's towers. It's the
And waves.
It's like the radio waves is what
Okay.
it is. It's all radio waves.
Okay, just trying to understand.
Yeah, just all radio waves.
Okay, so so they're gonna, do they build new towers for
Wi-Fi.
them, or use the towers that are already existing, and they just switch it?
I would assume they're switching a lot of that, but like I said, even what they can do is they can take and you have like a big tower here, and then you have smaller, basically antennas, repeaters on like other buildings and places where basically the signal goes from one to the other, and then it just repeats out and it spreads faster that way.
Okay.
And speeds everything up. So that's kind of where that is.
So do you think that the improvements are worth the risk?
Mine's pretty damn fast now, so I don't know. I mean, I never have a problem out of my phone.
Well,
as
is
far
it
as it is.
5G already?
Nope, because I don't have a 5G phone.
Oh, do I?
Nope.
Okay. Then we're okay, right?
Well, no. Just because your phone's not 5G doesn't mean the signal's not out and around. Signal's still
Okay.
out and around. You just don't have a 5G phone.
It's so confusing. Okay, so let's talk about Shungite. You want to?
Sure.
So Shungite, we've been recommending for a really long time. I got it originally because for me, it helps me when I'm like really off. If I feel overwhelmed or super ADD, which I am, or super ungrounded, or super just like weird feeling, which I can be a lot, it would just make me sort of, I just always say it meets you where you are, but it doesn't keep you there. It kind of meets you gently, and it kind of gets you to a more of a stable place. So we were at a big gym show. It was kind of an everything show for metaphysical type things. And we met some guys. I think they're from Michigan, and they weren't even selling them to us. It's not like they were even saying,
They were
"Hey, let me
buying
show you
too.
this." They said, "Hey, you seem like you need this," and they took me over and they introduced me. This was years ago to Shungite before people were even talking about it. Well, somebody came in my store the other day and they said, I bet y'all are selling a bunch of Shungite. And I was like, I've always sold a bunch of Shungite. It's one of my favorite things to sell. I wear it every single day. It is that and lepidolite are probably, and selenite are probably the three things I recommend most, even though I love like all crystals. So what is Shungite? So let me just tell you guys a little bit about Shungite. It's a carbon from a village in Russia. There are basically three kinds. There's silver Shungite, which is the most scarce, and I'll show it to you. This is it. You want to hold that, Roger?
Sure.
That's silver Shungite. And I have a little card that I made for it. It's a powerful antioxidant and purifier. It shields against radiation. It absorbs negativity, and it cleanses often, and it cleanses everything. So they all do that. Silver Shungite is the most scarce, and I won't go into all the percentage of everything it has in it. There's a great book I have here that I'll recommend to you guys. I'll go ahead and say it. It's Shungite Protection, Healing, and Detoxification by Regina Martino. But I do a whole class on this based on this book that we can do soon. I've done it several times. The second kind is black Shungite that we sell the most of. It's just regular black Shungite. And again, a carbon. And when you get Shungite, I actually had a friend of mine call me one time, and she brought it home. She goes, "I think this is dyed because it's coming off on me. It's like wearing off on me." I was like, "No, it's not dyed. It's carbon." So it's kind of like, when you first get it, sometimes it'll kind of wear, like it'll kind of come off on you. It'll kind of rub off on you a
This
little
one
bit.
here will, on your hands,
Yeah.
can't really see that, but yeah, it comes off on your hands
The
pretty
third
easily.
quality is a gray Shungite, and that's really almost more of a rock. It's not something that you really
Yeah, we don't usually have
we
it
don't
at
carry
all.
that as much, and that's not gray Shungite right there, is
No.
it? Okay. The thing that makes them, and it gets kind of a little confusing. I have a picture of it. The thing that kind of makes it scientifically work, and why it's had so much study for so long, especially out of Russia, but a lot of other places, is a thing called fullerenes. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. They look like soccer balls. Fullerenes are molecules formed entirely of carbon in the form of a hollow sphere, ellipsoid, or cube. And because of that, and if you want to know more, we can take a class on it. But because of this whole structure is why the Shungite ultimately has scientific properties of purification and helping with radiation and cleansing. Okay, this whole fullerenes thing. There's been studies done on fullerenes by scientists. So Shungite is not just one of the ones that is like speculative whether or not it helps and stuff like that. Okay, so and it goes into it very in detail in this book, or you can Google it if you really want to know all the science of it. But it's those fullerenes that do it. Now, do you want to talk about the history of it? I didn't write everything down about it, but
Well, let's see. They've had it for billions of years in Russia. The little town, I believe, is called Kalarian or
it
something
starts
like
with a
that.
K. Yeah,
Kalarian.
I can't
Yeah.
ever pronounce
Yeah,
it, so
I
I
believe
didn't
that's
put
what
it.
it was called. Even Ivan the Terrible used it with the spring water to
He
drink with.
did.
So, like on that, what they do is they actually take the powder and put it in the water, let it mix it up, then they let it settle the shungite back down into the bottom, and then they drink the water. So,
It's Karelia. It was around the region of Lake Onega, the Russia part of Karelia. That's right. You did good.
see, that was close.
Okay,
I knew it was
so-
something like that.
And then
And then also Peter the Great used it.
he really used it
Yeah.
a lot. I think we have a picture of him. So Peter the Great was totally into it. He used it for healing, the baths, did studies about it, used it for almost everything.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the things that I left off was they used Shungite after Chernobyl
Right.
for all the fallout, the radiation.
That's
and
right.
it was used quite extensively after Chernobyl. So it is known to be very effective for radiation,
Yeah.
which is why now it's become not just for the EMFs, but for the 5G. We are saying to everybody, I think everybody should have every single day, you should be wearing, and I've got on 5 of them. I wear Shungite every day because of my temperament, for one thing. It also wards off astral things that come in at you from other
Got
like
mine in my pocket.
realms. I really advise, I'm serious, if you were going to buy one thing right now for yourself to ward off anything, even before black tourmaline, I would get Shungite. It's not, I think probably, we're not doing this, probably people will start jacking the price up. I have found
Probably.
at the last
It's
crystal
usually what
show,
happens.
it seemed like they were starting to do that a little bit. It was already kind of expensive because it comes from one place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not one dealer, but one
One city,
One
one town,
place.
one mine.
geographically.
Actually, the guy we buy ours from, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
He's
so,
from there.
But another thing that I wrote about it, I called it the Stone of Life. Here's what I said. It meets you where you are and provides what you need when you need it. It's wonderfully soothing yet highly protective. I put Soultopia would love to tell you all about how it is formed. Think fullerenes and carbon. Great for purification processes and soul wisdom and ancient memory, transitioning, breath work, sacred unions, energetic support, and clearing all kinds of negativity. So we've been selling it since we opened. And since even before we had Soultopia, we put it in bracelets.
Yeah, we did. We used it a lot even way back then. She's got these setting up. These are actually the little plates that go on the back of
You
the
want to
cell
show them
phones.
closer? So what he's saying, we have them.
We've sold these for years.
So I would recommend everybody get one of those
Yeah.
at least and put them. You don't have to put it if you're all into, I've got what is mine? The 10,
You
whatever.
got the 11 Max.
The 11. So it's, the green one. You don't want to maybe mess it up. So I still
If you have the
put mine
rubber
on here.
cup, if you have the rubber cover, it'll actually slide between the cover and your phone.
You
without
don't have to actually
sticking.
stick it on.
Yeah.
But even so, I'd still stick it on. I would put one on your computer. I would put one in your car.
My favorite are on the computer is actually the little pyramids,
Yeah, we're
Little
sold out of them
pyramids.
right now.
or
think.
like even the spheres like this.
That's the
because
last sphere we have.
Yeah.
We were looking all in the store.
I like it because that energy comes off of it in all directions. That's what I like. Is that way you can set it next to your computer and it's kind of catching everywhere all around.
Right. We have pendulums. They actually carve. These are not inexpensive. I'm going to tell you.
They're
Even
cute.
Roger,
They're little frogs.
yeah. Well, you always argue every time I buy them.
Well, that's because you buy
they're,
them.
well, no, it's because they're expensive.
And they're expensive.
They're not cheap.
This
for
little
us to buy.
froggy guy's $45.
They're,
And he's made in Russia.
yeah, but the
Look at that.
hippo's like $75
Yeah, but he's a
because
hippo.
they're carving them.
They hand carve it. It's
Out
all
of
matte
that-
finish except for the eyes. The eyes they actually polish to have a kind of glossy finish on the eyes, so they it looks like they're looking at you.
So they're made of that second kind, that black shungite. This silver, this is called noble or elite shungite. Why would you get this instead?
It's more pure. That's
Yeah.
the reason.
It's a
just
higher
it's a higher
content.
content of actual the Shungite, the fullerenes, and everything there. This
So
is
if you
what it is.
you might want to even wrap one of those. Roger wrapped one of those to put for me to wear as a necklace. The only reason I don't wear it is it has a lot of loopy things that catch on my sweaters. So I want it wrapped a little more plainly.
We can wrap it a little more plain for you. But yeah, these are really cool pieces, and they have that really shiny silver. We actually have some jewelry out there with it in it.
I have
Makes
on
it
I
nice.
have on a ring. We have rings, different rings. That's a moldavite ring, but I also have on. This is a really affordable ring just because it's set in some sort of not expensive setting.
Yeah.
But that's Shungite on top, and then another one set in sterling. This is cool. You want to tell them about our water bottle?
this
I think
is a-
that's our only one we have
Yeah,
left.
this is a water bottle, Shungite water bottle. What's cool about this one is the top does come off, but the crystals don't actually touch the water. They're in the
Be careful.
bottom chamber here, and so they're in the bottom chamber.
Look
That
how
way you don't have to
and they're
actually
huge,
clean. And
really
they're
big.
huge pieces of Shungite, and they do go in a very certain way
I put them in.
to get them in there,
It's like
just right.
I'll
There
do
we
it
go.
later.
So that the top or the bottom, I guess, will close on those. But you don't put your water there. Your water goes or whatever into the top, and it's a heavy glass.
So let me say something about that. Your Shungite could go right down in your water bottle because Shungite is a water purifier. But you could also change this out if you wanted. The cool thing about it is if you wanted to put a different crystal in here that is not safe to put with right up against your
Yeah.
water, you could use it for a different crystal because not all crystals can be put right with your water.
Or now this is a big or. If you want to put your margarita in here, you don't have to clean the margarita off of the crystals. And you still get the protection with your tequila.
But you'll still have a hangover if you drink too much. Okay, it won't protect you against that. So, and you still have to not drink and drive.
So I was looking it up, because it also reminds me on Better Call Saul. The brother,
that show,
the
yeah.
brother on Better Call Saul. I can't remember what his
Better
name
Call
is.
Saul.
And he's got his whole house,
Oh, yeah,
wrapped in
yeah,
aluminum
yeah.
foil, because of the EMFs and all that. He's kind of like the over the top. He don't let you bring in cell phones. He uses camp stoves to cook with, stuff like that. No electricity in the house. But while I was looking it up, you could take the powder, Shungite powder, add it to paint and paint your room.
We could.
It would be pretty expensive. 'Cause
there are Shungite rooms in Russia, actually.
yes, but they use tiles to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use the tiles because you can buy the tiles that are about a quarter inch thick and they're 4x4, and just like any wall tile or floor tile, you just stick it against the wall.
Do you know one time that I painted my kitchen with coffee?
Okay,
If
that
we're
explains a lot.
I painted the whole kitchen. It looked really cool, though.
Okay,
It's a coffee kitchen. It smelled good, too.
For
I
a
just
little
don't drink
while.
coffee. But yeah, let's do that with Shungite powder.
you can.
Do it with selenite
So
powder.
when I was looking
Would
it
it
up,
be like
because
flammable or anything?
I'm sure we could get it a lot cheaper, but it was $60 per quarter pound. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if you think about it, it'd be kind of cool to be able to put it in, mix it up, paint it.
So we have a little bowl. We have this little palm stone. It's really nice, just to hold. I would put one, like I said, for sure. If you were going to get one thing, and I'm not kidding, I would wear a bracelet. I would wear a necklace. I'd wear something on you. I'd put something in your car. I'd put something on your phone, and I'd put something by your computer. And if you work, this podcast room should have it all in here.
It does, right here.
No, but always. And if you work in a place like this where you have all this kind of stuff, or you have a room in your house with a lot of media stuff, I would put it in there.
Yep.
And I'm not kidding. I would do it more and more. If you live where there are a lot of power lines, I would start gridding your house with it too.
We used to get those, and we haven't had one in a little while, but they're like a cannonball. They look like a cannonball. Shungite sphere, about the size of a cannonball.
Well, we've sold
Those are
them.
cool. We need to get some more of those.
We sold them, and you sold mine, the one I had, the very first one I bought. We sold a long time ago.
Yeah. You know who bought that?
A long time ago? I do remember, I think.
Kate.
No, it was before Kate. This was years ago.
sure it
when we
wasn't
were at a
Kate?
different location. Mhm.
Oh, I thought it was Kate.
So the thing about shapes, just really quickly, is if you have it carved into something, it can represent, certain things. Like a frog is for luck, but if you have it like a sphere, that's gonna, like Roger said, send it out uniformly around a whole room.
Mm-hmm.
Like if these aren't going to be clusters, but if it was a cluster, it would send it in every direction. There was a point. So you can think about, and these cylinders you can hold. These are called Faro cylinders. So you want to hold them up, Roger?
Yeah.
One end's copper, one end's Shungite, and I typically have people hold those for stabilizing when I'm doing healing sessions.
A lot of times, and like you were saying, we do a lot of events, and we can be in an event, and you can kind of see the energy drain on people. They're walking around, and you can just tell they've picked up people's energy that's not vibing with them.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not busy, which is a rarity, but if I'm not busy, I'll always pull that person over, make them sit behind the, people I don't even know. I've met so many people by doing this. Make them sit behind the, table with me, and just have them sit there for 10 minutes holding like the Shungite rods here, and it's amazing how much better just that 10 minutes just sitting there holding those. They just get so much better out of it.
Right. All right, so that's pretty much what we wanted to tell you guys about the Shungite and the EMFs, if not only the EMFs, the 5G that's coming out, that's already out. And the fact that, to me, there is some coincidences between the fact and, is this gonna solve everything? No. But do I think it's gonna help? Yes. I had a lady come in and she wanted it to cover her whole computer. And here's what I told her. No, don't do that. And she was insistent. So we got a cube, because we have it in all different stuff. We're just kind of sold out. Well, we're sold out of some stuff.
Yeah, some stuff we're
And I said, you can get a cube or something else to set beside it. You don't need to go crazy into your whole room or anything like that. That's fear. And we're not trying to put fear in people.
No.
It's really setting the intention and really just trying to be kind of
set up some safety terms.
Yeah, because like I said at the beginning, we live here. Certain things they just are what they are. But at least try to do a little something to keep ourselves a little bit protected from some of the. And on top of that, keep your phone away from your bed at night. Keep your computer away from your bed at night, and all that kind of stuff, which I don't do.
Easier
but
said than done.
Should do, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff, as much as possible.
I try.
All right. Do we have time for readings or no?
Who wants a reading? Anybody want a reading? Just speak
Or I'll just drink my margarita.
Or you can watch us
You can.
drinking a margarita.
I like that song by Adam Levine, because we went and saw him sing that Maroon 5. You know that
We weren't drinking margaritas that night.
it was something that made me. It was Red Bull and
It
something.
was vodka
made
and Red Bull.
Tingly, and I thought I was having a stroke.
Vodka and Red Bull.
Oh, it was not good for me at all. Like
I take it back.
did
It
not
wasn't
need
vodka and Red Bull. It was actually worse. Hang on a
I did
minute.
not need Red Bull.
It was Red Bull and Jaeger. In Vegas. Way too many.
I thought I was gonna have to go to the ER.
Michelle's like,
Anyway.
my hands are tingling.
Oh, I can feel it now. It was just not good. It's not. No.
All right, so
And here, just while he's looking, here's
Dominique.
his book.
Dominique.
But we'll do a class.
said that
I already have the class written, so we'll just do it again.
I thought, did you do it before or just?
I did it before.
You
I
did it
did a
once
book on
before, yeah.
Shungite. I did a book on fluorite. A book. I did a class on Shungite, a class on fluorite, and a class on calcite, and it was all in one weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, Dominique.
Okay. So, is there any specific question?
Nobody. They did not put anything down here.
Okay. You don't have any cards? Are you reading with Fred?
I'll read with Fred. I'll tell you what, Dominique. I want you to focus on one question with Fred here. You see Fred here. I want you to think about that one question. You have that desire you need answered.
Fred has
Fred,
been very
come
popular.
on,
People ask
Fred.
for Fred to come back.
Fred, what do you have for us?
Fred's more
Fred
popular than
says-
I am. For sure.
Hell yes, exactly what it says. For sure.
I'm really psychic. Oh my gosh.
It
I'm
says
done.
for sure.
Bye. It does.
It says for sure. So
Okay.
whatever you were thinking about, Dominique, Fred says for sure. Go with it. Way to go, Fred.
There is, stop sitting on the sidelines. So he said, for sure, go for it. But there is a weaving together of three people that needs to happen. But you need to stop sitting on the sidelines. You need to do more of the directing of the situation. You're great at weaving things together, but you're needed to stand up. And also, there's somebody who kind of like the Wizard of Oz. They're kind of behind the scenes trying to act like they are a little bit more magical than they are, but really they're just kind of an ordinary person that puts like a little bit of a spin on everything that makes them seem so wonderful. Put them, I don't mean this rude, but put them in their place a little bit, and just you start taking the leadership role. Don't know what that means, but hopefully you do. Okay.
Okay, Meredith.
What?
Meredith.
Okay.
She would like a reading.
Okay. Is Fred going first?
You want Fred to go first?
Yeah.
So, Meredith, I know you have a question.
You started to talk like Zoltar. Does Fred?
No,
Do you
you
need
have
Fred
a-
to have a different voice than Zoltar?
Hi, it's Fred. And so we got a question. And his answer is don't plan on it. So whatever it is, don't plan on it. You better find another way around that.
Okay.
That's what Fred says.
I'll see if I get the same answer.
I'm assuming not.
No, it's just kind of like I see you kind of going, kind of looking like, well, I'll prove you wrong, Fred. So it's kind of like you've been through a lot to get to where you are, and you're kind of like, I'm putting my stake in the ground, and nobody's going to make me move from where I am. It's not that stand in your power thing, because that's old, but it's more like, don't even try to get me to budge. What was your answer?
Don't count on it.
It might not be different, but it's saying you're not budging. So whatever that means is you're not budging. I'm not sure if that's the right answer or not, but your attitude is I'm not budging because I've been through too much to get to where I am. So don't even try to get me to move from my position. And I think it feels right to me.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. I think we have time for one more, right? One more. Lori. All right, Lori.
This is Lori with a Y.
Yep, Lori with a Y. All right, Lori. Margarita Fred over here.
Make Fred talk in one consistent voice.
We have to come up with a voice from Fred. Fred doesn't have a voice yet. I need to find that alien voice changer I have.
Okay.
I'll talk with it. Toss in that robotic voice that I can't do. All right. You got your question, Lori? Here comes Fred with his answers, okay? Most definitely. So whatever it is, I guess it's going to happen. Fred says so.
Fred's always right. if it feels too good to be true, it's too good to be true. But stop always thinking that everything is too good to be true, because you're deserving of every good thing. That sounds like a fortune cookie. But it's true. So stop thinking, you know when something's BS, but stop expecting everything to be BS, because not everything is. Expect the best for yourself instead of just assuming it's BS.
Most definitely, according to Fred. That's it.
Okay, I'm going to do a reading for really fast for.
Fred?
No, okay, no. About this 5G thing.
You want to
Is
know
it?
what Fred
I want
has
to know.
to, you
Yeah, I
wanna
want to know.
Fred
Here's
has
my
to say
question.
about 5G?
Here's my question. Here's the. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
The question is it really worse? Is it really more dangerous than what we had before?
Oh, you got to be mad at Fred if he says something negative about that.
I don't know.
Okay, so
Don't
Fred,
rig him.
Fred, is it more dangerous than what we had before?
Is 5G more dangerous than the
Well-
one before it?
Okay. Without a doubt.
Really?
That's what it says. Without a doubt.
It's all about the money, money. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I got. It's
Okay.
money. So, money talks.
So, guys, a lot of times we don't have time to get everybody who responds on here, but just to give you, kind of a general overall, because we had a few people asking, and Fred says, what does Fred say? Of course. So, whatever question you have, Fred says, of course, go with it.
Let me see what I get for general to leave. Ooh. Really?
Oh, no.
In order for it to happen for all of you who asked, be prepared to do whatever it takes. And it may not always be an easy route. If you really, really want what you're asking for, some things may be painful. Some changes may be painful to get to where you want to go. You may have to walk through some fire and go through some hard times to really get to the things that you really want. Okay? But it'll be worth it.
Sounds good.
So, of course.
Of course.
But not always easy. Okay? Are we
All right,
good?
We're good.
Well, thank you for the margaritas.
Yeah.
And happy Cinco de Mayo Day.
Cinco de Mayo.
You guys come and get your Shungite. This is one area where I'm not kidding. Seriously, get Shungite. I can't make guarantees, but I'm guaranteeing you that you need Shungite. Roger doesn't wear his every day. Do
I
you have
told
it in your phone?
It's in my pocket.
You have it in your pocket?
See?
Okay.
In my pocket.
I wear it every day. If you stop me and ask me, and I will be able to show you Shungite every single day.
Unless you sold it to somebody.
Unless I sold it off my wrist. Usually it's on my wrist. But that's it for this week. We really appreciate you guys. You can listen to SoulWhat on Spotify, the iHeart Radio app, Google Podcast, iTunes, and of course by watching live on YouTube at Michelle Soultopia and on both of our Facebook pages at SoulWhat and at Soultopia Holistic Boutique. And you guys, it really helps if you follow on all those and you share them with everybody else. That really helps us a lot. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for listening to SoulWhat, where we discuss and you decide what is important to your soul. Thanks.
Good night,
night.
guys.